Yeah, hello. I'm Nina from Aachen. And I would like to, and I'm here because I'd like to give you some insights on maybe how we can help the world by rethinking our processes. So, oh, wonderful. First of all, I'd like you to maybe step away a bit from ICT at the moment. So we're not talking about processes that run on your computer, but we are talking about interrelated activities that are performed according to certain rules to achieve a specific outcome. What does that mean? So let's just take a practical example. We have a customer, so we have a business process. We're a company. We buy components for bikes, and people can order a bike, and they order a bike according to a specific color with certain components and aspects. So we register customer orders. We then go to our inventory. We get all the items out of the warehouse. We build some of the components. We paint some of them according to the color desired. Then we assemble them and pack them. And then we send out an invoice and get a payment, and it is delivered to our customer. This is the kind of processes we're talking about. So, and what we're looking at is, so these, can you see it? Yeah. These gray boxes, we call them activities. And if we perform a process with regard to a specific customer order, so for example, order ICT4S, we call this activity, an event. So the event where the order ICT4S was registered, and that was one process that happened within one process execution. So what does this have to do with sustainability? So we kind of have, these are businesses, they buy equipment, they sell the products and materials that they produce. We have employees who work there. So actually, at least in Germany, we have 40 hours per week. So we spend about 5 days a week, half of our waking time working at companies, so kind of with regard to business processes. And then we have great environmental impacts. So we have energy consumption, we create greenhouse gas emissions, we use materials and create waste. So these business processes are highly relevant to when we're talking about sustainability. So speaking about sustainability, I would like to talk a bit about the circular economy. So the idea is that we transition from a linear economy to a circular economy. So we transition from like what we consider how we currently live, where we extract raw material from earth, manufacture stuff, assemble final products, and sell them. We use them, and then we just destroy them. We throw it away, we throw it in the bin. And we want to move to a circular economy in which we have different possibilities to not destroy the value, but retain it instead. So we could say we refuse using certain materials, for example, oil and gas. We can reduce the resources, the materials that we actually use. We can decide to repair and maintain the products we have, reuse or resell something when we no longer need it, refurbish it, so we don't need it anymore, but there has some minor things have to be fixed, like polished again, so we refurbish it, and remanufacture. So individual components are broken, so we kind of disassemble it, change some components, and assemble it. Disassemble and reassemble it again. We can decide to use something for a different purpose than it was originally intended. We can recycle the goods, and we can decide to recover the energy. And finally, if we decided to put something to the dump, we might consider to, when we find an alternative utilization, we can remine it, so take it back and put it back into our supply chains. So what are our relevant processes in this? So we have processes regarding to the sourcing of materials. We have processes where we manufacture these materials and we assemble them and we distribute them. So we give them, we give them to customers. And we can use, so during our utilization, we can of course maintain and repair things. But then we also need to consider all of the new processes that are not in our current traditional supply chain. So the ones where we take it back from the end user and put it somewhere else. So basically, we need to integrate these new processes into our new system. So what is it that we have to do in general? So we want to increase the efficiency of our processes, but we also want to consider how we can transition the way that we are working at the moment to more sustainable processes. And we want to integrate new processes into the way we currently work. So getting back to our business process, the question is now, how do we do that? And as I already mentioned, I'm from Aachen and I do process mining. So let me tell you about process mining. So the cool thing is that we don't have to model and ask people about how this process works, because the experience in the past has shown that we don't get realistic models if we just ask people and say, so what do you do then? What do you do then? But the cool thing is the activities we use are usually supported by IT systems. So these IT systems log what happens. So they have so-called event data that we can use. So this event data is, so we have such a log is we have an activity, we have a timestamp, we have some sort of objects that is related to, so for example, the customer order. We have, in the case of our example process, we have the resource that the person who performs the activity, we have the components that are used and the package that is created, and of course, we can add some additional attributes about these events. So how much energy did we use? How much carbon did we, how much greenhouse gases, sorry, not only carbon, did we produce? Yeah, so this is event data. Now, process mining. Well, we want to improve processes based on using this event data. And improve is a big word, and it includes a lot, and so does process mining. So we have our real-life processes with the IT systems, and we extract the event data. And as in every data-related topic, this is 80% of the work. So you collect it, you have to make sure that the identifiers are the same from the individual IT system, so it's really a lot of work, actually. But once you have it, you can repeat it. So we have the event data, and then we can automatically create process models. These are two examples of process models, a BPMN model at the top and a PetriNet at the bottom. So we usually work with PetriNets. So we put it into an algorithm and get a process model. Then we use this data, the enriched data and the model, and we do conformance checking. So we see, do the processes that are being performed at the moment, actually, are they compliant with the process that we want to perform? And do we find where are the bottlenecks in my processes? Then we can get some insights, find out, well, what do different things depend on, what are the causalities, rather correlations, but in between different attributes and the processes we can compare different different processes that have performed the same outcome in the way that they, so what is the difference in, say they have the same outcome, but what is the difference in their like activity, in their, how they are being performed. And of course we take all of this information and we want to act based on that. And there has been a lot of thought of what can we actually do with process mining on sustainability. We can assess sustainability, we could compare different processes, and in regard to their sustainability, we can help decision makers to make the more sustainable choices. But this is very, the descriptions are very unconcrete and very high level. So we were wondering when we read all of this, well, how should we do this? And that's why we performed 2 systematic literature reviews. The first one was just on the very broad area on process mining and sustainable development. And I can tell you, so we organized it into the different pillars. The economic pillar, I think it's pretty self-explanatory why process mining affects the economic pillar. There was a surprise in the social pillar because it's mainly applied to human-centered processes, and there is a branch within process mining that goes into this area a bit stronger called responsible process mining. Then we found out that the environmental pillar is least developed so far. So we took a look at we did a second more targeted review, taking a lot more keywords into account, and we found out, well, the majority of works relates to an increase in efficiency. But just increasing the efficiency isn't enough. Also, we see that they're mainly high-level descriptions, no concrete, how do I actually apply process mining to do that? And state-of-the-art process mining techniques were not really considered. So we concluded that there is no, that the application still requires further research and probably interdisciplinary research. So what we did, we tried to build a little framework saying, okay, if you want to do process mining for sustainability, how would you have to apply it? And we considered what elements of the process do you have to consider, and we built that. We said, what events do you have to take a look at? So what kind of activities? We see that we have to broaden our scope of the activities to look at. And then we thought about what can we actually help with? We can help assess, we can help decide, we can help compare to current standards. And now I'm here and I would like to tell you about process mining and this, and that's why I'm interested in talking to you about this. Do you think this is helpful? Thank you very much for your attention. Sorry for overrunning.